Yo. Welcome to Sports and Street Talk, Season 3, Episode 3.
Welcome.
We calling this Apply the Pressure, man.
Welcome back.
My man Rob Gordon, go ahead and talk it up.
What's up?
Pressure,
What's up?
Rob Jones, go ahead and talk it up.
Rob Gordon.
What up, y'all? Apply that pressure.
We talk about Apply the Pressure, man. You talk about Apply the Pressure.
Okay.
They always talk about when people apply the pressure, things come out. When I apply the pressure, I like to apply the pressure in a way where I like to get things done. When certain people like to apply pressure, they like to apply pressure to get things done out of people. It goes back and forth, and it goes the other way, back and hand in hand. I think about it when you apply the pressure, you apply the pressure. When you apply the pressure, you make things happen. When you apply the pressure, you got goals in mind. When you apply the pressure, you got an obstacle to climb. When you apply the pressure, you got a mountain to drive over. You know what I mean? When you apply the pressure, you applying the pressure. And when you're applying the pressure, it's all about going to the top. And there's a lot to go off this topic. When I say apply the pressure, it's really, to me, personally, when I think about it, my 34 years of living on this earth, let's get into it. 34 years on this earth, when I'm talking about applying the pressure, I'm talking about, how you feeding your family, how you taking care of your mom at 34 years of age, how you taking care of your auntie, your grandma, before yourself and before your own family, if you got kids. For me, I don't. For me, I ain't have a wife, you know what I mean? I'm not there yet. I'm getting there, though.
You ready?
Not telling, but I'm getting there. Yeah. Woo, we getting there.
Right.
It sound good. I'm not there yet, though, but I'm applying pressure every day. I got a goal in mind every day. I got a plan in mind every day, and we should have that every day.
Right.
In a way where, it's reciprocated, in a way where it's received, in a way every day.
For me, applying pressure, I think applying pressure, man, it can be a multitude of things, right? It can be in your workspace, whatever that is, getting things done, like you said, task management, right? So, whatever you trying to do or get done, applying that pressure, you know what I mean? There's always competition, right? There's always people in your job or in your career path that you're in direct competition with and not so direct competition with. I think that pressure that you're trying to apply applies to that, right? It's applicable to who are you in competition with? And for me, I'm always in direct competition with myself, right? So I don't compete with other people. I don't look at what you're doing or what this person's doing or whatever the case may be. I know that they exist, but I'm always, working with myself. You know what I mean? Or working for myself. And so when it comes to applying pressure, I think I put more pressure on me than any outside world, anything, right? So I think I put the pressure on myself to perform. I put the pressure on myself to provide. I put the pressure on myself to be better, right? And so when you're talking about applying the pressure, you can take it as a literal sense, like I'm applying this pressure on the ops, the this person, that person, whatever the case may be, or I'm applying the pressure on myself to go and be better. And so for me, when we talk about applying pressure, I apply pressure to myself. To be better for my son, to be better for my bros, to be better for my lady, to the world, to my peers. Like, I apply that pressure on me. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what it looks like for the people that have come before me, for the comedian actors that have come before me. I know what they've done and the things that they've been able to accomplish. But I put the pressure on myself to say, I need to have a special come out by the time I'm 30. And I do that. I need to have my second special come out before the time I'm 34. So I'm working on that. I need to have, 10 properties in my personal name or, or under a business name or whatever the case may be by the time I'm 33. So I put that pressure on me. Don't nobody put that pressure on me but me.
I
so,
like that. That's
you know
real.
what I'm saying? Like,
that's real.
Everybody does when you talk about applying pressure. People might say, "Oh, I apply the pressure to stun on my haters." I ain't really worried about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because any person who's successful, you gonna have a hater. If you ain't got a hater, you ain't successful enough.
Right.
Keep working, work a little bit harder.
Right.
You gonna have a hater, and it's gonna probably be somebody that's closest to you. You know what I'm saying? I personally can speak from experience, man. I've been set up and robbed by my own family. So I don't worry about the outside noise. I only worry about what I can control. It's like the episode previous that I said, control what you can control, man. And because when you apply the pressure on yourself to be greater, to be better, to be bigger, and to rise to the occasion, you're going to always rise to the occasion.
Absolutely.
I don't worry about that outside noise. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Because
question.
that's always going to be this. There's always going to be somebody telling you can't do it. It's always going to be somebody saying, oh, you should have did it better. It's always going to be somebody telling you, you should have. I don't want to hear that.
Right.
I am the pressure on me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if I didn't get it or I had a bad set, I'm like, damn, I'm going to get it next time. But somebody might walk up and say, you were so funny. It was hilarious. It was a great set. It was funny. Yeah. But I know I can be better.
Absolutely.
I put that pressure on me. And so I say that to say applying pressure to me means putting pressure on yourself to be greater and do better.
I completely agree with that, bro. For me, we got to constantly be applying the pressure.
Always.
Like, we can never let up off the gas.
Don't get lax, dog.
At no point. We can't let up off the gas.
Yeah.
See, we have to challenge our limit, not limit our challenges.
Ooh.
I think
you got to say that one more time.
We got to challenge our limits and not limit our challenges.
Woo.
Like, that's important.
That's a bar.
That's the key.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got to continue to create better versions of ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
we have to continue to reprogram, because everything that we see, what is it? It's just programming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So we have to program our youth to understand, hey, tomorrow's coming, and you may have lost today, but tomorrow's still coming. You still have another chance to win.
What about programming yourself? You know what I mean? Because we talk about the youth all the time. You know, I'm a fan of the youth, right?
Right.
But we also have adult listeners, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes these adult listeners that we have, or viewers that we have, are going to listen to the Apply Under Pressure episode, and they're going to say, well, how does it apply to me? How is it applicable to me? How do I apply that pressure in my life?
Nah, you know what's crazy? It's crazy you say that, because, I do motivational speaking for the kids and
Right.
future business owners, right? So I asked them all this question about failure. And, we had a topic about failure in one of the previous episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, how do y'all feel when you put this work into what you've done and you come out failing? And the youth and the adults, they all gave me the same answer.
What was the answer? I want to hear it.
I feel worthless. I feel
Inadequate.
right. I feel inadequate. I had one kid tell me, I feel like I want to just tell God to take my life.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that comes from pressure busting pipes. You know what I'm saying?
That's bust a pipe or make a diamond.
That's exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what we have to do is create the conversation about reprogramming and reforming them into basically knowing, hey, we have another chance at this thing. Just because he's Jalen Ramsey, he's the best cornerback ever in the league right now, it doesn't mean that I can't run my route. You feel me?
Right.
It don't mean that I can't get open.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We have to constantly create the conversation.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because somebody's dominant at somebody else and is trying to impose their will onto you, but since you great at your craft and regardless of what they good at, that still don't allow you to get the job done and accomplish what you need to accomplish to get the goal accomplished.
No question.
I think that's
important.
what it boils down to, fellas. Competition, right? And a lot of times we live now in a microwave society. Instant gratification, henceforth Instagram. I think that we kind of gotta do away with some of that thought process, because when you talking about rising to the occasion and something, it's gonna be somebody that's doing it first, right?
So you talking about in the comparison aspect?
Yeah, definitely comparison, because it's always gonna be somebody that's doing something you doing, right?
Right.
But you can't compare yourself to that person, because like we said, couple episodes ago, he ain't you.
He ain't you.
That vibe ain't your vibe.
Ain't
That
your
energy ain't your
right.
energy. His life experiences ain't your life experiences.
Nope.
So at the end of the day, he might be doing it, but his the way of doing it and moving and maneuvering is not gonna be the same way you do it and move and maneuver, because your thought process is different, your life experience is different, your relationships is different.
He can't walk in your shoes.
You can't walk in the shoes that's for me. Even if we both wear 9.5, that 9.5 gonna fit your foot a little different than it fit my foot.
Right.
My left foot might be shorter than your left foot.
And it's gonna look different even we got the same pair of shoes on.
It's gonna look different. I might wear mine untied. You might like yours laced up to the tip to the tenor. But at the end of the day, it's different. It's the same. We're doing the same thing. It's the same shoe.
Right.
But we wearing it completely
different.
And so when you're talking about life and you're talking about applying pressure, you can't worry about what somebody else doing. You got to apply that pressure to yourself.
In every aspect of life.
Every aspect of life. And you got to turn that thing up or turn it down.
Right.
And you got to know when to turn it up or turn it down. And so, like you said, man, I think it's programming. It's definitely programming in a way in which, you got to allow certain things that we allow into our minds, our eyes, our ears, we receive in a way, right? So you got 2 eyes and 2 ears to see and hear more than you talk, right? And a lot of times we receiving information and hearing information, from these different apps that affect the way that we think. But that thought process affects the outcome of our life. Yeah. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? So it's like, you got to be careful. Like we talked about protecting your energy. You also got to protect what you see and what you hear. Because if you don't, shit, it's equally as catastrophic as sharing your energy with somebody.
See, but that's the trick. You said it. Protect what you see and what you hear. Sometimes that's uncontrollable.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's the trick.
If you're in a toxic environment and you can't control your child, okay, cool. As a 30-something-year-old adult,
King.
Yeah. I can control my environment.
Right.
If a motherfucker walk in this door right now and start talking some shit that I don't want to hear, my ass up and leave.
Yeah, but not what you see though, because anybody can pull up at your shit and can do anything that they want to do.
Now that's
and be provocative,
correct,
and be persuasive, and be manipulative, and be whatever they trying to do in front of your property to try to get to what? To buzz.
Right.
Anybody can do that.
But this is what I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
That's a form of applying pressure, right?
Yeah. But it's still a what?
But it's a form of applying pressure.
But
what I'm gonna say is, what I'm gonna say is,
that's where you have to play the law of percentages.
It's the law of percentages, but it's also the law of self-control.
Oh, no doubt.
You see what I'm saying? That's something else that it's not a topic on today's docket. But what I'm saying is that's a law of control, though. Because if a fool pull up on me and he doing something that I don't want to see, bro, I can easily close my door and go back to crib. I don't have to see it. I can see, okay, you saw it, okay, cool. Oh, damn. Oh man, I'm scrolling down Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I didn't want to see that. Keep scrolling.
Right.
You ain't gonna stop on something that you didn't want to see and be like, oh man, that's crazy.
Right.
Like this whole thing that came through on Twitter with a sipping paint. Y'all seen this?
No,
Y'all ain't seen sipping paint? Oh man, so this chick, it's a group of girls, women, right? You know that's what they do. They do the sipping paint. And so there's an exotic sipping paint. So they got the dude in there. He's butt naked. Yes, he's butt naked. Yes. And so he's butt naked, and they start. One chick starts giving the dude fellatio as they painting and doing their thing. She drunk as a skunk, and all her girlfriends is just looking like, "Girl, you crazy? You gonna suck that man over here?"
Right.
And so I'm like, I get on Twitter, I'm like, what the hell? And I scroll. Right? So I'm like, what the fuck is this? So then I look, I'm like, I don't want to see that. I keep on scrolling.
Right.
But I saw it because it was on my timeline. I scrolled through it, I saw it, and I kept on going. It's the same example what you're saying. I don't have to see that shit.
Right.
I can scroll past it.
You don't have to fully absorb it.
Don't have to fully absorb it. You see, you've seen things in your lifetime that you be like, I don't want to see that.
Right.
But you don't dwell on what the viewpoint of what you saw. You seen it, keep on moving.
Right, but you can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it.
No.
I'm not saying unsee it.
Right.
I'm just saying protect what you see and what you hear. That's what I'm saying. You can't unsee nothing.
Right.
But you can protect what you do, allow into your situation. Feel me? So that's my 2 cents in the biscuit. I ain't got too much more to say.
Nah, that's real. That's real. That's real. That's real.
And you know,
Yeah.
I just, you know, when you talk about applying pressure, you know, everybody be like, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna put this pressure on my haters and all that. Man, you worry about the wrong motherfucker. Cause while you worry about them, you don't really even know who you is. Or why you doing this. Cause why you with a drip or the chains and the jewelry? Why you with it? Now if you
To
sit
keep
here and
up,
tell me
that's it.
you wear it cause it make you feel good, all right, cool. Cool.
9 times
But
out of
9
10,
times out of 10,
you trying to make somebody else.
come on, man. You know what it is. You know what it is. And so when you talk about applying that pressure, you better apply that to yourself. Because at the end of the day, you know, I read this quote, and it says that if I win, we win. But when I lose, I lose. So I say that to say, can't worry about nobody else. Because regardless, these my bros. But if I'm going through something tough, trial, tribulation, not saying that they won't be there for me to talk to or whatever the case may be, but they'll be there to a limited potential version of what they can do. You are the only person that's going to save you. So don't worry about nobody else. Apply that pressure to yourself.
To yourself, straight up.
Point blank, period.
Straight up. Yeah, I kind of feel like, especially in our youth, we got to reform the way that they think.
I think it's
we got to do it with ourselves. We got to clear the cache. We got to, you know what I'm saying, block the pop-ups and accept all cookies.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Break that down.
So we got to clear the cache. Everything that we thought was real, that we found out, you know, some bullshit, we got to clear that out of our database so that we can move forward. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people be holding on to stuff years. Holding on to mama issues, daddy issues, brother, sister, cousin,
Right.
boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. So we got to clear the cache.
I think
Then we have to block the pop-ups. So we got to block them for popping back up.
right. The issues.
You know what I'm saying? Got to block them because, you know, life is a cycle. If you go through it one time, it's going to come back at you.
You know,
No
it's crazy,
question.
it's right.
It's definitely going to come back at you, and it's going to test you again. Once again, life is a testimony. You can't have a testimony without a what?
Test.
Absolutely. So, you know, I think we have to block our pop-ups. And then the next thing, we need to accept the cookies, the good shit. When it comes back and we know it's there, like, oh, shit, that's an oatmeal raisin motherfucker right there. Need that. You know what I'm saying? That's a chocolate chip, double fudge, whatever. Need it.
Right.
You know, so that needs to be the next step, you know.
I like that analogy.
And then we can reform our way of thinking and create better versions of ourselves and of our youth and our community. That's the most important, you know.
I think therapy. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I think we run from it.
Oh yeah. But
as black people.
no question.
Why though? Therapy, like,
Well, acceptance is the reason.
allergic or
I don't think it's allergic. I think that it's not something that we talk about. You know what I mean? You gotta think about generations. So we all party about what? I would say 5 generations removed from slavery, right?
Yeah.
And so if we 5 generations removed from slavery, that means that your grandma, your great grandfather wasn't a thing to talk about mental health, right?
Right.
What is that? You know, you gonna lay on the plantation and let a nigga tell you that? You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a thing. Sharecroppers wasn't a thing. Up to when we had our own businesses and things like that. Maybe we talked about it. Maybe.
Right.
But then you go up to the next generation where they burned everything down. We didn't have nothing again. We had to start over, jobs, whatever the case may be. Niggas are trying to survive.
No question.
Get to your grandmother, you know, still. trying to survive. So now when you're talking about like therapy, like that's something that is it's like a leisure thing. It's like something. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have it, right?
Right.
But we need it. Like I think that like reparations and therapy need to, like the government need to be giving that shit out. You know what I mean? Like,
but here's like the easy part has already been done for us.
Which is?
You know what I'm saying? Like we learned early in life, seek and you should find. Right?
Seeking you shall find, yeah.
That's the fucking internet.
Yeah, but
hold on.
Go ahead.
Ask and the answer shall be given. It's fucking Google. You know
I
what I'm
get
saying?
it, but you can't Google what's going on with yourself.
No, you can't. But you can get a better understanding of other people who may have gone through the same thing.
Yes, I do, but there are clinical things that describe traumas and triggers and things that you've gone through, right?
Right.
That helps, because you said something about youth and, you know, people having mommy issues and daddy issues and things like that. So you might have had a mommy issue, might have had a daddy issue, right? But you don't necessarily know how to heal through that. You can't Google that.
No, you can't Google that.
You can't Google that. You can't Google why do I hate men, right?
Right.
I mean, you could potentially, but somebody's not going to sit there on Google and help you unpack that. Help you go back and retract into those life situations as to why this happened, or in this relationship, or why this happened in that relationship, or what happened with your father or your uncle or whoever hurt you. You're not going to find that on Google. And so now what ends up happening is the pressure, right? So when we're talking applying the pressure,
right,
it's now put on your significant other in a situation in one in which you're forcing them to deal with your personal issues that you haven't personally dealt with yourself.
Absolutely.
So again, it goes back to you got to apply that pressure on yourself before you put that pressure on somebody else to take care of you, provide for you, whatever the case may be, or to love you, because that's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
If you haven't dealt with them things on your own. And so part of that, dealing with that on your own, is going to therapy. A personal person that is professionally able to address those specific things about you and help you identify you to you for you.
No question.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all
like,
gotta tune into this, bro. This is real gems.
That's just the real shit about it, bro. Like, and I can only speak to it because, like, I've been in it for about a couple months now, and
speak on it.
I see the difference in me, my nigga. Like,
talk that shit, Jay.
You feel me? Like, I see the difference in me, and I'm like,
Go
yo,
ahead,
damn.
Go ahead.
Like, you know, I see the difference in me. Like, damn, I don't react to that no more. You know what I'm saying? When a nigga say this or that to me, or somebody say that, I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, or like my triggers ain't my triggers no more. We all suffer from PTSD, bro. We all grew up in black neighborhoods, bro. Like, a nigga step on your shoe, you gon' buck. Like, it's how we grew up, my nigga. Like, it is what it is. Like, men don't cry. That's how we grew up.
Right.
So to say to a man, you need to be emotional, I have to now put the pressure on me to be emotional, to be vulnerable, to be in a situation where I can be okay with allowing myself to be loved in a certain way by a woman.
Well, why do women want that emotional being, and they're the most emotional being?
Because you can sympathize with the emotions that she has. It's like a negative and a negative, a positive and a positive.
But the minute that you do that, you old soft ass nigga.
No, I think you have to find the right woman.
In a way where they accept you.
Right, but nobody's saying cry all the fucking time. Because yes, you are a soft ass motherfucker.
If you go, if say you in the office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all in the house together. Say you work from home. Right. She's in the bedroom, top floor. You know what I'm saying? Y'all in the bed, whatever. She's in the top floor.
Mm-hmm.
You in the office doing work, and all of a sudden she just bust out, start crying, yelling out, crying, and you're understanding like, why is she doing this?
You don't understand.
You don't understand. This has nothing to do with you.
Right.
You're good, but you see it from the outside of being so busy with work, but you're inside the house because your business is inside the home because you're so goddamn good on the phones. You so good on the emails.
Right.
You just know how to make deals happen on the phone. Listen to this. This is real stuff. You know how to make deals happen without being in person, right? Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, when you hear the outside noise in the house or whatever like that, the case may be, mm-hmm. how you deal with it, how you deal with the things that you don't deal with when you're not with them, but you see it. Just because you're inside the home now and you work from home inside the home, but your work would usually be outside the work, but now you're working from home, but you see the outside things that you're not seeing inside the home. But how do you deal with that? You deal with it by looking at it and understanding how would you deal with the situation. Now, men and women deal with situations differently.
Absolutely. No, I think we got to collect the data, bro.
It's emotional intelligence.
And it's emotional intelligence on how you approach the situation and how you will handle it as a man, even though they're not the man. But to be like, look, hey, baby, like you came into a man situation. This is a man playground situation. Now you understand that you in the situation where usually men deal with. You gotta understand the circumstances of what you're dealing with and understand and put themselves in a frame of mind like I signed up for it.
That ain't how you do that.
Yeah, once again, you gotta collect the data. You gotta collect the data.
Not as from before, man. But before for the job per se. Say if they do, not the normal job, or say if they do jobs that are signed up to call certain people or do certain things to follow people to get deals done.
But to your point, you said if she's in you working, she becomes emotional. His question was, why do women like emotional guys? So if she becomes emotional, you're working, right? You're not on a call, you're just working. At that point, you have two options. Go address the emotion.
Yeah, you address it. That's what you do.
Or you continue to work.
Yeah. Now, depending on the how she addresses the state of mind she is, you continue to work or address the emotion.
That's what I'm saying. Hold on, don't come in. Hold on. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Go ahead, though.
You either continue to work or go address the situation. Now,
right.
If you're unemotional, you'll probably continue to work.
Yes.
If you're unemotional, you might go.
No, that's not true. That's not true. If you're unemotional, but you hear,
you might go look.
She goes crazy after me, yo.
There's so many variables in place. Like you're not even thinking about number one. Have you seen her do this before? How long have you known her? How far have you gotten?
Yes.
Was this an emotional act, and this is the very first time?
Was it something that was depressing? Did somebody die? You don't know what happened.
But if she's done this before, if she's acting like that, she needs help. She's obviously like that.
Well, if she's done it before, you've made a conscious decision to deal with it.
Right. And so at that point, hold on, wait.
But she's not directed towards you. She's directed towards the behavior that she's getting dealt with. Well, outside factors. This is not towards you, though. That's the difference. She's not bringing it towards you. She's bringing it towards the outside factors. She's yelling at the outside people. You just happen to deal with the shit that she's dealing with just because you're inside the home and you work inside the home instead of being outside in the field. That's the difference. You see what I'm saying?
Right. It goes back to this. This is what I think more than anything. Like I was saying, it don't matter. You can know a person for 10 years and only spend an hour, a month with them.
Right.
But it's calculated hours you spend with the individual that determines how much you know about this person.
Period. Yeah,
it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? The person can't wear a mask that you around 24/7, 365.
They can hide that shit and present it to the outside world. Yeah. But then when you really intimate with them and you in that situation,
you know how it goes. But you know what's going on.
But so to answer the original question, because we got off topic. The question was, how do you or why do women like emotional men?
Right.
Because an emotional man, a man who is vulnerable, understands, right, the emotional state sometimes, not all the time.
I don't know about that. I'm emotional. I don't know.
So that's why you don't understand. But you can't speak. You can't say. Yeah, because you ain't that.
We ain't even emotional kings. We don't.
But this is what I'm saying. Because I'm a little, I have become more emotional in my older age than I was as a young man.
Right now that you have a child, now
I
that you
got
have
a kid.
Right.
So my empathy meter is high.
Okay.
So in that way, I can love a woman in that way because I'm patient and I'm empathetic to certain things because I have a son, because I have to be patient with him. I have to be empathetic to what he's doing and what he's going through and what his thoughts, his feelings, his emotions.
Right.
So that then translates to my woman, right? And so why is a woman more receptive? They always aren't. Let's be clear. They always aren't. But I think that they like it because you understand them from a different point, right? You understand them from a different dynamic. Yes, they paint with theirs. This shit is all colors, all shapes, and all sizes all over the goddamn. But when you understand the basis, right? Because most men, we operate in two things: anger, sadness, or happy. I would say three: anger, and sadness. Happy. So when you understand the other 13 or 14, whatever the fuck it is, so many.
Right.
You know, you deal with it a little bit differently. You're a little bit more soft when they deal with certain things. You know what I'm saying? They're going through whatever, their period, you know, certain time of the month.
Right.
And so, or they're dealing with outside stuff. Honey, you ain't, man, what the fuck? What's wrong with you, short? Dang, you crying again?
Right,
you know, you're not that. You probably,
you got to,
hey, baby, you okay? Is everything all right?
Right.
How can I help? What's going on? You're a little bit more empathetic. And it don't, you know, it's just emotional intelligence. Now, if the woman is clearly just irate all the time, that's a different problem.
It's a different problem.
You got something. You need to send her to therapy or the nut house. But I'm just saying, no disrespect. But I think that, you know, the way in which to deal with the pressure piece of it all, because, you know, we apply pressure to things we want to see thrive. I think that's the best way to kind of quantify it. It's like, we want to see, the reason why you put pressure on yourself to throw a football is because you want to be good. The reason I put the pressure on myself to write a joke and put it on stage is because I want to be good. Yeah. The reason why you put the pressure on yourself to be a good agriculturer, because you want to be good at what you do.
Great.
And so I think even in relationships, personal or with the opposite sex, you put that pressure on somebody because you want to be good. You want it to be good. And so I think that even in it being good, we have to settle in the fact that in order for something to be good and then great, it has to go through a process.
Absolutely.
And I think that a lot of times in relationships, personal or business, we're so impatient with the process of learning somebody, of learning their traits, their hang-ups, their triggers, whatever it is. We put so much pressure on it to be good or perfect that we miss the process.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't become this person overnight. You still, like I said before, it's still stuff you don't know about you.
Right,
and you expect me to know it? Come on, man. That's not fair.
Right.
And so we put pressure on things that we want to see be great.
Ooh.
But you got to put that same pressure that you putting on your significant other, your business partner, whatever, on yourself.
Straight up.
Because if you don't put that pressure, that same applied pressure on you, then really you're doing that relationship or whatever a disservice.
Oh, man.
Because you're not fully coming to the situation whole. You expecting somebody else to fill your cup when the shit was already
full.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
preach, Rob.
Or empty your cup when your cup was full. So it's like you gotta just. I think the biggest word in 2022 for me is grace.
Yeah.
Because grace to my bros, grace to the homie that I don't know, grace to this woman, grace to that man, grace to my mom, my dad, my son. my son's mother, because everybody is going through so much pressure, right? To eat, to feed themselves, to work, to have this or that, to make it happen, right? We're going through a pandemic. We're still in a pandemic, bro. That's a lot of pressure. And so I think we got to give one another grace. And in giving grace and in applying pressure, apply it to yourself, give yourself grace, give other people grace. Don't put that pressure on so many people, because you don't put that same amount of pressure on yourself.
That's real.
Period.
I love that, bro. I love that.
That's real gems right there. To think about it, that's just you know, I'm just really I feel that, I've been around a long time, guys, and I'm just really not really struck off the things that Rob G just said, but just more the fact, the vision and the picture that he just painted for the people that just understand the realization of how things just go in this world today that we live in, and that's just the facts of just the modern day of just waking up out the bed and putting on your flip flops and making some eggs and sausages in the morning and go about your day and about your business.
Yeah.
In a way where it's ineffective, in a way where you just disappear off the face of the earth. Where the point is where you just about your own self goal and own self vision, and just everybody just blind everybody else out and just go about your way. And credit to you, Rob, and the way how you feel and just about the vision that you just laid out. But more importantly, it's just about inspiring the folks that's coming up. Man. What y'all doing?
That's real.
What y'all doing, man? Like, come on, man. Excite us, man. Give us something new. Right. You know what I'm saying? What we doing? 12, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, man. Apply that pressure, baby. You know what I'm saying? We old. We in this position where we can afford to, do these things and create this content in a way where we can make it elegant, but you the future. How we gonna make it in a way where, it's something to delight and something to behold. We got to hear something, man. We apply that pressure, young folks, man. Don't let nobody tell you something that you can't do, man. And then that's just what it is. And
absolutely. And it's okay to lose, people.
If you have that confidence in yourself to be who you want to be, hold yourself accountable to that. If that's who you believe you want to be, hold yourself accountable to that. Don't let nobody else steer you in the wrong direction if you can't tell you can't be. Now, that's a problem that you gotta deal with. If you hold yourself accountable, then at a level where it's supreme, and your homeboys or your homegirls or whatever the case may be don't feel like you can make that, then you gotta cut them off because you feel that way and they don't. So that's a problem.
Absolutely. Got to stay winning, y'all.
Cut off the dead weight.
It's okay to lose. But it's
cut
not
off the
okay.
people that don't believe in you. Man.
It's not okay to keep losing and to be a loser.
It's all about self-happiness in a way where you can maximize your potential, right, of who you are as a person, the gifts that God gave you to be selfish, to explore,
Preach
and to
on,
maximize at the same time. Listen to what I said. God gave you gifts to explore and to maximize at the same time, each and everybody. And at the same time, I'm getting to a level where nobody's gotten to before on this podcast stuff. Do you wake up and you look at yourself in the morning every single day and look at the mirror and feel, what can you do in this world? Honestly, can you give the maximum effort as honestly as it? Because I honestly believe, if everybody wakes up in the morning and looks in the mirror and says, I'm gonna give them the maximum effort every single day, they won't last long.
Right. Well,
no, and I mean not in a bad way. I'm just saying, you giving your maximum effort every single day, 24 hours a day. How could you last long?
It's a such thing as burnout. But I think we burnt out of time.
Okay. We definitely can't. We could go on about this all day, y'all. But Once again, man, y'all check us out. Y'all tune in. Make sure y'all subscribe. Leave some good comments for us. You know, tell us, share your thoughts about applying the pressure.
Yep, tune in. Thank y'all, man. Peace and love. Good night.
Sports and Street Talk, episode 3.
Peace and love, y'all. Season
3, episode 3. Apply the pressure. Check it out. www.sportsandstreettalk.net. All the latest episodes. Peace and love, everybody.
It's going to be some changes in the way business is built.